This isn't just a book about money, it's your entry point into the hidden energy that creates it. When you connect with the universal laws of vibration, you'll realize that abundance isn't something you earn, it's something you receive. Money is a frequency. Tune into it and watch your life change. Now let's dig deeper. Throughout history, hidden in old scrolls and shared by wise teachers, there's a powerful truth. Money isn't just physical, it's energy. It flows through the universe, not stuck in coins or bills, but in an invisible current that's ready for those who are open to receive. From ancient empires to the quiet reflections of today's mystics, this wisdom has stuck around. Those who understand wealth know it's not about chasing after it, it's about calling it forth. Wealth moves in line with spiritual laws, just like the stars in the sky. You're about to unlock this hidden knowledge and wake up to a truth that's been forgotten. Your current financial situation? It's just a mirror, showing how well your vibrations align. Like a tuning fork, you attract what matches your frequency. Wealth isn't something to pursue, it's something you become. The universe has woven prosperity into everything around you, every ray of sunlight, every breath you take. It's here, whispering and vibrating in perfect harmony. This isn't just a magical idea or a trick of the mind. It's a timeless science of energy, working seamlessly through the law of vibration. As you read, you're not just absorbing information, you're recalling the lost art of syncing up with financial frequency. By exploring these chapters, you'll awaken to your real gift, unlimited abundance. You'll step into a space where wealth isn't something to chase after, but something you fully embody. Before we dive in, take a moment to hit that like button and let me know where you're tuning in from today. Part 1. Awakening to the Energy of Currency. Chapter 1. The Hidden Currency. Picture this. On a sunlit beach, there's Elainer, her footprints gently marking the wet sand as she collects seashells. Day after day, she gathers these beautiful spirals, thinking they're just leftovers from the shore. Then an old mariner appears. His weathered face carries the wisdom of many years spent at sea. He looks at the shells and says, he spoke carelessly, his voice echoing with the wisdom of ages. Once, stories like his were worth more than gold. In the great empires of the past, emperors traded in these tales. Merchants built their fortunes on them. Their real worth wasn't in their physical form, but in the shared understanding of all who used them. Money, like water, flows through time, and it's never been what it seems. The paper bills and coins that pass through your hands, they're just symbols. They're physical reminders of an energy agreement that's been around since people started trading. This energy, the frequency of wealth, responds to our consciousness, not just to the world around us. Those who have built great wealth understood this secret. They saw that wealth isn't a limited treasure to hoard, but an endless frequency to tap into. While most people clutch their cash, believing it's scarce, the truly wealthy know abundance first resides in the unseen before it appears in the real world. In a busy city, Thomas sat at his piano, his fingers gliding over the keys perfectly. Night after night, he played to a half-empty room. Meanwhile, an untrained musician named Samuel filled the streets with fans. Frustration bubbled up in Thomas as he watched Samuel. It wasn't just music. It was an energy of pure joy flowing from Samuel, connecting with everyone present. In that moment, Thomas realized his chase for technical perfection had blinded him to music's real currency, the unseen frequency of passion. This frequency draws in both fans and wealth. Like Thomas, you might be fixated on the physical side of money, missing the energetic essence that pulls it to you. Remember, your relationship with money starts in the unseen world before it's reflected in your bank account. To shift how you connect with this universal energy, try this daily ritual. Find a quiet moment to hold a coin or bill in your palm. Close your eyes and take a few minutes to sense the energy around it. Don't focus on the metal or paper. Feel the living frequency it holds. Acknowledge this currency as a symbol of the endless universal energy surrounding you. Always let your awareness blend with this frequency until you realize that true wealth isn't about the money you hold, but the hidden essence behind it. In a dim room filled with old books and bubbling pots, William worked day and night at his alchemy station. He combined materials and chanted spells, desperate to turn lead into gold. His hands became rough, his eyes tired, but the metal stayed stubbornly the same. After watching his apprentice struggle for months, the master alchemist finally said, "The change you want can't start in the pot until it happens in your mind. The outside world just reflects what's going on inside you." Like William, you might be wearing yourself out with actions while missing the inner shift that has to come first. Every coin that passes through your fingers and every dollar in your accounts shows the solid form of your main thoughts about money. This manifestation works under unchanging laws. Your beliefs about wealth create the energy map that the universe uses to shape your material world. These thought patterns serve as invisible molds that form your financial reality. The wise ones knew this truth. Consciousness comes before what you see, just like a blueprint comes before a building. In a small town, Martha's little shop neither grew nor shrank. It stayed steady through good and bad times. While her competitors saw big profits during festivals, hers stayed constant. Even when others struggled, her income held firm. This pattern lasted until an older customer saw Martha giving back extra profits and smiled, saying, "You keep your wealth exactly where you believe it should be. No more, no less. Your money aligns with what you think you deserve." Just as Martha unknowingly adjusted her wealth to fit her beliefs, you also have a wealth thermostat. It's a deep-seated belief about how much abundance you feel you deserve, and this invisible dial works quietly in the background. You might find yourself working hard to keep your financial situation just as it is. Maybe you even hold back on opportunities that could push you out of your comfort zone. Or you support projects that fit neatly with what you expect for yourself. To start changing your wealth mindset, grab a journal dedicated to tracking how you think about money over the next week. Jot down every money-related thought that pops into your head. Each evening, in the soft glow of candlelight, review those thoughts. Write down any limiting beliefs you uncover on separate pieces of paper. Then, burn those papers in a safe container, watching your fears turn to ash. Before you drift off to sleep, repeat this affirmation 3 times. "I am one with the infinite abundance of the universe. Prosperity flows to me freely and naturally. I expand my consciousness to receive ever-increasing wealth." Now picture this. In a remote village surrounded by misty mountains, Josephine sat in her small home. The door was wide open, and there were no physical barriers keeping her inside. Yet she felt trapped, chained to her chair by invisible restraints. Day after day, villagers passed by, urging her to come to the marketplace. But all she could do was helplessly gesture at her unseen bindings. One morning, a sage with eyes as old as time appeared at her door. Without saying a word, he watched her struggle against those invisible chains. Finally, he spoke up. "These chains exist only in your mind. They're made of beliefs passed down through generations, each link a tale of scarcity told so often that it became reality. Those who controlled resources spun careful stories of lack, and over time, these tales embedded themselves deep in human consciousness. Just like Josephine, you carry these inherited chains of limitation, so deeply rooted that they feel real, like steel. But remember, these constraints were never meant to be your inheritance. The universe is filled with infinite abundance, always expanding and creating. Yet the myths of scarcity are so widespread that they form energetic barriers around your potential for prosperity. Take the story of Charles, who was meant to inherit vast estates and fertile lands, yet lived in just one room of his family mansion, surviving on bread and water alone. As a child, he witnessed greed tear his family apart, and in that painful moment, he made a vow to reject all wealth, believing it was the source of his problems. The source of trouble had lingered for years until one night, in a bright dream, his ancestors visited him. They revealed how his own choice of living in poverty was holding back the lands that supported hundreds of families. His fight against abundance wasn't guarding him from greed. It was blocking the resources that could uplift his community. Like Charles, you might carry old promises or decisions that limit your wealth. These restraints might have seemed smart or noble back then, but now they just keep you from making positive changes in the world. To break free from these inherited chains, grab 3 sheets of paper and some string. In a quiet space, write down your biggest beliefs that hold you back from wealth on each sheet. Connect them into a paper chain, just like they are tied together in your mind. Hold this chain before you and assertively say, These bonds were not made by me, and they don't serve my highest good. Now break each link by declaring its opposite truth. Where there was lack, I now claim abundance. Where there was fear, I now claim power. Where there was unworthiness, I now claim my divine right. Take these broken links and bury them in the ground, returning these limitations to the endless source from which everything comes. In a far-off place, Beatrice set out on a quest that took up her young years. Stories of a magical fountain, said to turn water into gold, enchanted her. This legendary spring promised endless wealth to anyone who drank from its sacred waters. For 2 decades, she trekked up steep mountains, crossed vast deserts, and journeyed through thick jungles in search of this hidden treasure. Exhausted and worn, she finally returned home, her quest unfulfilled. While tending to her long-neglected garden, her shovel hit something in the earth, and clear, crystal-like water bubbled up with an otherworldly shine. Soon, news spread about the spring and its miraculous healing powers. People traveled from afar, offering riches for just a drop of this precious water that flowed freely beneath her own feet. The truth you seek is already within you. Like Beatrice, many people spend years chasing after wealth in distant places, while abundance quietly bubbles right beneath them. The universe's endless wealth doesn't come from outside sources. It flows from the divine consciousness inside you. This inner well has no limits. It can't be drained or diminished. When you connect with this inner resource, abundance naturally follows. It's just the physical echo of your spiritual link to the universal supply. Take Samuel, for example. His merchant fleet was his whole fortune. But when a storm destroyed his ships, he felt stranded on a deserted island. It seemed like all hope was lost. Yet in that solitude, he found out he could weave beautiful baskets from island reeds. He learned to make healing balms from local plants. As the months went by, his inner talents blossomed. When he was finally rescued, Samuel brought back knowledge worth far more than his lost cargo. His unique creations were in such demand that his new business made him 10 times wealthier than before. What seemed like a disaster pushed him to uncover the true source of abundance, his own divine nature. The ancients knew this truth well. External situations can change quickly, but your inner resources are always available. The talents, insights, and creativity that flow from your divine essence are the real treasure. This source can't be shipwrecked, stolen, or run dry. For today's practice, find a quiet spot and close your eyes. Imagine yourself going down a spiral staircase deep inside you. At the bottom, you'll find a shining pool of golden light, your inner wellspring of abundance. Cup your hands and drink deeply from it, affirming, "All prosperity flows from my divine connection." To finish this meditation, recognize 3 inner gifts you have that can create lasting abundance. In a far-off land where gold didn't matter, Frederick wandered the streets hungry, surrounded by food stalls. His bag of coins was useless here, and merchants ignored his pleas. Each night he slept in doorways, even with wealth hanging at his side. Then came Agnes, an elderly woman who saw the confusion in his eyes. With patience, she taught him the sacred words of gratitude that served as currency in this strange place. "Express your appreciation from the heart," she said, "and watch how the universe responds. Your words shape the very fabric of your reality." Every word you say vibrates with a frequency that sends waves through the universe, either pulling in or pushing away abundance. The universe doesn't just listen to what you mean. It's all about the energy behind your words. Those who get the hang of creating wealth know this little secret. Prosperity flows to those who speak its language. When you say, "I can't afford it," the universe nods and agrees with your limits. When you say, "Money slips through my fingers," reality shapes itself around that belief. Take Victoria and her sister Claire, for example. They both ran identical shops on the same street, selling the same stuff to the same crowd. Victoria started her day by saying, "Abundance flows to me naturally," and talked about her business as if it was booming. Claire, on the other hand, always fretted about making ends meet. Within a year, Victoria's shop doubled its stock and customers, while Claire's struggled until she had to shut down. Why? It all came down to the power of their words. If you want to change your financial situation, start by changing how you talk about wealth. There's an old practice that can open the door to abundance. Be mindful of your speech. Try this. Take a simple cord or band and wear it on your right wrist for a week. Pay close attention to every word you use about money and wealth. If you catch yourself talking about lack, switch the band to your left wrist and say out loud a positive phrase instead. This way, you'll begin to adjust your verbal vibration to match the language of abundance. Now let's move to George, a baker in a small village surrounded by hills. His bread was famous, drawing people from afar. Every morning, he put fresh loaves in his window and gave them away to anyone passing by. True spirituality means giving without expecting anything in return, he often said, his eyes shining with belief. But as time went on, George's body became frail. His once delicious bread lost its flavor, and his shelves grew empty because he couldn't afford quality ingredients anymore. Yet, he kept on giving, even as his own health declined. Then one morning, a small child came to his counter, barely tall enough to see over it, asking, "Why do you refuse the natural flow?" The child looked up, asking for wisdom that felt as old as the stars. See how the sun shines? It gives light but pulls energy from deep inside itself. Look at the earth. It bears fruit but relies on rain and minerals. Even flowers share their nectar in exchange for pollination. Your way of giving and receiving reflects this cosmic dance that keeps life going. Everything in existence is part of this sacred exchange. This is the hidden secret that fosters prosperity. Money, it's just a sign of this ongoing flow, a way to represent the energy that connects everything. When you block this flow, either by not giving or not receiving, you create tension in the natural cycle of abundance. People who only give eventually wear themselves out. Those who only take end up stuck. True spiritual wealth comes from keeping a healthy balance in this age-old dance. In a faraway city, there lived a healer named Harriet. Her touch could soothe even the worst pains. But she wouldn't accept payment. She thought that made her more spiritually pure. Over time, though, her healing powers faded. Her once bright energy dimmed, and her treatments lost their effectiveness. One night, during meditation, she had a vision. She saw a universal energy grid, filled with countless golden threads linking all beings in a complex network of giving and receiving. She realized that by refusing to accept, she was creating knots in this web, blocking the life force she wanted to share. Resisting receiving, whether out of pride or fear or a mix of both, throws off this sacred cycle. Just like a river needs to flow and be refilled, your prosperity depends on engaging fully in life's natural dance of giving and receiving. To help balance your energy exchange, find a quiet spot and light a single white candle. Grab 2 sheets of paper. On one, jot down everything you give to the world. On the other, list what you receive. Take your time and really consider each exchange. Notice where things feel off. Identify where you give too much or struggle to accept. Finally, write down one specific action you'll take to bring balance back. Do this under the waxing moon for the best results. Now, let's talk about Margaret. She stood before the golden gates of the Garden of Prosperity, watching as others strolled in with ease. But an unseen force kept her stuck. Day after day, she returned, determined to press forward. She faced invisible walls that kept her from enjoying the sweet scents and ripe fruits just out of reach. On the 7th day, an old sage appeared beside her. "You're not alone in this struggle," he said gently. "Take a closer look at the air around you." As Margaret concentrated, she saw delicate threads extending from her body, reaching back in time. These threads represented her ancestors, her grandmother who thought gardens were only for the rich, her great-grandfather who couldn't own land, generations who learned to stick to their assigned roles. And you, too, carry these invisible threads, beliefs about wealth and worth woven into you even before your first breath. These ancestral patterns shape your financial world more than you know, creating limits in your energy that feel as solid as brick walls. These inherited restrictions are embedded in your spiritual DNA, setting invisible walls that you can't seem to break through. But knowing where they come from can help you break free. Each belief that holds back your prosperity was formed as a way to protect, pass down with love, even if it restricted their potential and yours. Henry's story reflects this reality. He was a sharp investor, building successful businesses, but always self-sabotaging when they got close to $500,000 in annual earnings. That was the exact point where his father's business had failed years earlier. No matter how skilled and hardworking he was, this invisible ceiling limited his success, controlling him like a puppet he couldn't see. One night, his grandfather visited his dreams, showing a scene from 1929. The family was gathered around a table, solemnly promising never to take risks again after losing everything. This fear-based pledge had quietly passed through the generations, shaping their financial future without their notice. Just as Henry's awakening helped him break free from his family's unseen limits, you too have the ability to let go of inherited patterns that don't benefit you anymore. Through awareness and meaningful rituals, even the strongest ancestral ties can be gently released. For a lineage liberation ceremony, create a simple family tree spanning 3 generations in a sacred space. Meditate to connect with each ancestor, asking about the money beliefs they held. Write each belief down on a leaf, recognizing its impact. When you stand up for your freedom and let go of what holds you back, you can turn those limits into energy and send it back to the universe with love. In a long-lost monastery, a young scholar named Arthur spent many nights hunting for a secret manuscript. This manuscript was believed to hold the timeless secrets of creating wealth, but invisible guardians protected it from those who only wanted riches for themselves. Night after night, Arthur combed through dusty old books, hoping his hard work would lead him to the manuscript's hiding place. But every morning, he woke up to disappointment. The more he despaired, the more convinced he became that this text would fix all his money problems. One evening, while sorting through scrolls, he stumbled upon a child's drawing that had fallen behind a shelf. The drawing showed a tree with both fruit and books. Touched by its simplicity, Arthur paused his search. Nearby, a young novice struggled with a basic text, so he decided to help. As he shared what he knew with joy, the atmosphere in the library changed. The guardians who had watched over the ages recognized that here was someone who valued wisdom over wealth and understanding over greed. Instead of being a hidden book, the manuscript revealed itself as the living wisdom that had always been there, waiting for someone worthy to see it. Throughout history, enlightened beings have kept these deeper lessons of prosperity safe, not locked away, but guarded by the need for spiritual readiness in those who seek it. The guardians understand that having financial power without spiritual growth can lead to destruction instead of freedom. Elizabeth's story echoes this truth. At key points in her financial journey, when she was starting her business, facing bankruptcy, and even when she got an unexpected inheritance, she met the same wise mentor. This mysterious figure appeared not by coincidence, but when Elizabeth was in tune with her higher purpose. At first, focused on just surviving, Elizabeth hardly noticed this guide. But as she grew, she saw that each meeting lined up with her biggest moments of spiritual growth. Elizabeth became more straightforward as she showed her dedication to using prosperity for good. Just like wise guardians walking among us, they're ready to help when you're open to it. They show up not because of your needs or ambitions, but because of your spiritual awakening. To call on their guidance, create a special space at dawn with 4 candles. Let each flame symbolize wisdom, integrity, purpose, and service. In meditation, commit to living out these values. For the next 3 days, stay silent and jot down any insights that come to you. The guardian's wisdom flows not from frantic searching, but from those who are ready to receive. In the fertile valley, Robert cared for his fields with tireless dedication. Every morning, well before dawn, he'd rise to plow, plant, and tend to his crops. Yet despite all his hard work, his harvests remained small. Other farms thrived while his struggled no matter how hard he tried. One evening, after a long day, his elderly neighbor came to visit. The old man had quietly watched Robert for years and finally spoke up. "You work harder than anyone I know, but you're fighting against the natural rhythms that can help you." He pointed to the moon, explaining how its phases guide more than just the tides. Each moon phase holds unique energies that can either support growth or hinder it. Seeds planted during the waxing moon thrive, while those planted in the waning moon often fail. By aligning his efforts with these natural cycles, Robert transformed his farm in just one season. The universe has its own rhythms of growth and decline, just like the moon influences everything. When you resist these cycles, you wear yourself out for little gain. Each phase of abundance carries important lessons. Times of scarcity aren't punishments, they're opportunities for planning and preparation, much like how winter revitalizes the soil. And when there's plenty, it's not just about consuming, but also about nurturing future abundance. Sophia, a merchant, lived through 7 years of amazing success, only to face 7 years of tough times. At first, the downturn scared her, but then she had a dream. It showed her how these cycles work, much like the seasons. Financial ups and downs follow a rhythm. During her successful years, she learned to save. In the lean times, she sowed seeds for future growth. Your struggle with these cycles comes from not fully grasping their purpose. Each phase is here to help you, as long as you embrace its energy instead of resisting it. Downturns are not failures. They're important moments to prepare for the next round of growth. To get in sync with these shifts, try this. Each morning, take a few minutes to check in with yourself. Are you in a phase of pushing forward, or is it time to reflect and recharge? Write down what you notice in a journal. When you're in a phase of expansion, note what opportunities arise. In quieter times, jot down any insights or groundwork that's happening beneath the surface. This daily practice will help you feel the natural rhythm of your life. Over time, you'll know when to move ahead and when to hold back, flowing with the universal beat instead of fighting it. Remember, every phase, whether bustling with activity or quiet with growth beneath the surface, has a role in your journey. Trust this ongoing dance of growth and contraction. When you see these cycles as wise guides instead of obstacles, you'll find that even the toughest times can bring hidden lessons and transformations. In a village famous for its mysterious music, Daniel wandered among a lively crowd, each person swaying and dancing to sounds he couldn't hear. They were filled with joy, moving to a rhythm that was invisible to him. Night after night, he returned, watching others lose themselves in this beautiful silence. One evening, a small child gently tugged at his sleeve without saying a word. She placed her little hand on his heart and signaled for him to relax his shoulders, which had tensed up from trying so hard to listen. She guided him through gentle motions, showing him how to ease his stiff posture and let go of the tension in his jaw. As his body began to unwind, something incredible happened. First, there was a soft humming, then a clear, beautiful melody surfaced, as if it had been waiting for him to tune into its vibration. The frequency of wealth works in a similar way. It's always sending out its signal across the universe, but if your inner state is tangled with noise, you can't hear it. Those brief moments when prosperity flows into your life, that's when you accidentally align with this frequency. But just like a radio that drifts away from its station, you can lose that connection when your energy shifts out of sync. To experience lasting abundance, you need to consciously align yourself with it. Just like Daniel adjusted his physical tension to hear the music, you need to fine-tune your energy to stay in harmony with the prosperity frequency. This alignment isn't about looking outside for answers, it's about finding balance within yourself. Grace learned this lesson while trying hard to fit into a group of people who seemed to be naturally abundant. She copied their habits and behaviors, but nothing worked until she stopped chasing them and focused on shining from within. Only then did the doors open, revealing that there were no hidden secrets, just a recognition of those who had found the right mindset. Right now, you stand at this same point. The shift from searching for prosperity to actually embodying its frequency is vital, the turning point all abundance masters have faced. At first, aligning with abundance takes effort, but over time, it can become second nature through practice. Start your days by taking a few minutes to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to settle into a peaceful state. Visualize golden light filling you up. That's activating the prosperity frequency within. This isn't just daydreaming. You're tuning your mind to it. Look around you. Abundance is all around, every single day. Pay attention to those moments when thoughts of scarcity creep in and try to pull you away from that feeling. When those thoughts pop up, gently remind yourself to return to your morning rituals. Remember, abundance isn't something you have to chase or grab onto. It's a way of living, a state of being. Let each breath you take remind you of the endless supply that flows through everything in this world. At night, Take some time to think back on how abundance has shown up in your life, in big ways and small ones. Say thank you for those blessings. Acknowledge them, because recognizing them helps you connect more deeply with the flow of prosperity in the universe. With regular practice, you'll find that you naturally align with abundance, bringing all that serves your highest good into your life. Now let's talk about embodying that feeling of prosperity. Picture a lively marketplace filled with merchants bargaining and coins clinking. Walter moved confidently through the stalls. He was blind from birth, but had a gift. His sense of smell was unmatched, making him the best perfumer in the city. His fingers glided over glass vials as he picked up scents others wouldn't notice, like the faintest note of jasmine hidden in ordinary rose water, or the origins of each spice. His talent led him to prosperity, as nobles and merchants lined up for his magic touch in creating perfect fragrances. But one day, while he was delivering scents to the palace, he stumbled upon a smell that stopped him in his tracks. It was unlike anything he'd ever experienced. Not floral, not spicy, not earthy, but it moved him to tears. When he asked where it came from, a guard told him he was standing by the entrance to the royal treasury. You see, the universe communicates in different frequencies, and abundance appears in so many energetic forms. Just as Walter could sense what others couldn't, you too can learn to notice the delicate vibrations of true prosperity. The wise folks from ancient times knew that wealth has specific energy patterns, some that grow and nourish, while others can drain and shrink. Clara learned this when two dear aunts left her identical pearl necklaces, crafted by the same artisan. Though they looked the same, wearing one felt very different. She experienced a series of lucky breaks and opportunities, while others seemed stuck in constant bad luck. Confused, she turned to an elderly jeweler for advice. He examined both pieces using special tools. Though they looked alike, one was pure silver with some rare earth elements, while the other was just cheap metal with a silver coating. He explained that their energetic qualities were as different as sunlight and shadow. Every day you face similar choices, opportunities, investments, and paths that seem equally promising at first glance. But underneath, there's an energy that either boosts your well-being or drains your vitality. By sharpening your spiritual senses, you can learn to spot these differences before you commit your time and resources. Start by gathering various forms of currency and valuable items. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Hold each item with your eyes closed, taking deep breaths as you tune in to the sensations in your body. Some might feel warm, others cool. Some could make your chest feel open, while others might cause a sense of contraction. Write down these subtle feelings in a journal, creating your own guide to the true frequency of abundance. In Chapter 12, The Mystic's Approach to Money, we meet Judith. She sat cross-legged on an old meditation cushion in a quiet mountain sanctuary, seeking enlightenment by letting go of worldly concerns. She had given up her comfortable life, thinking that chasing material things was blocking her spiritual awakening. But as she tried to reach a higher state of consciousness, worries about her dwindling supplies and uncertain future kept creeping in. After months of struggling, she sought guidance from Master Chen, a wise figure who attracted seekers from all over. To her surprise, she found him tending a beautiful garden full of fruits and flowers, his simple home adorned with art that radiated harmony. "You're trying to split yourself in two," he said, offering her a ripe peach from his garden. "But can you really separate the sweetness from the fruit?" He revealed a core truth that spiritual seekers have overlooked for ages. Prosperity and enlightenment aren't opposing forces. They are simply different expressions of the same divine energy throughout history. Those who truly master their spiritual journey know that the material world is an expression of spiritual principles. The ancient temples weren't built in struggle. They stood as symbols of a balanced blend of spiritual wealth and material success in a thriving coastal city. Harold's warehouses brimmed with luxurious silks and rare spices. His business sense brought prosperity that supported many families. Yet every night he wrestled with the idea that his financial success somehow made him less spiritually valuable. One evening, a famous mystic came to town. Harold was amazed to find him living in a beautiful villa by the sea. These things, the mystic said, are not my possessions. They're simply divine energy taking form. They allow me to host travelers, feed the needy, and create beauty that uplift everyone who walks through my doors. When we see wealth as sacred energy instead of something we own, it becomes a tool for helping others. Just like every drop of water belongs to the ocean, your material life is connected to your spiritual self. This false choice between being prosperous and growing spiritually has split our awareness. Now, let's do a simple practice. Close your eyes and picture yourself as a channel for divine abundance, like a crystal clear stream. See wealth flowing through you, not just for hoarding, but to fulfill a greater purpose. Feel yourself becoming transparent to this sacred energy, allowing it to become real in ways that benefit both you and everyone around you. Take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, let go of the belief that wealth and spirituality should be at odds. Release the thought that money is dirty, or that being prosperous lessens your spiritual connection. Instead, accept that your material wealth is just another form of universal energy, just like the air you breathe or the sun on your skin. Now, say this with confidence. I am a clear channel for divine prosperity. Sacred wealth flows through me, blessing all of creation. I welcome abundance as a sacred gift, knowing it strengthens my ability to serve the world. Keep this mindset with you throughout your day. Whenever you handle money, whether earning, spending, saving, or giving, take a moment to remember its sacred essence. Let every financial interaction reflect that understanding. Prayer is a way to connect with the endless energy of the divine, showing itself in our world. Chapter 13 is all about picturing a golden stream. In a place where the earth had cracked from a long drought, Rebecca would kneel every morning before the sun peeked over the horizon. She pressed her hands into the dry ground. While others only saw a wasteland, Rebecca began to envision sparkling waters flowing deep below. Ancient rivers were still moving, even if the surface looked dead and dry. Day after day, she held on to this image, feeling the cool rush of hidden streams in her veins. After months of this practice, something inside her tugged her toward a certain spot in the valley. Trusting that inner voice, she began to dig. Her neighbors thought she was crazy, but then their shovels hit moisture. Then they struck flowing water, a well so rich it transformed the whole area into green land. The wise ones of the past knew a truth we've forgotten. Visualization isn't just fantasy, it's a spiritual tool. It helps you tune your mind to the frequencies already out there in the universe. Just like a radio needs to be tuned to catch a signal, your mind needs to align with the frequency of abundance that's always available. In a busy market town, Edward ran his small shop with great care. Every morning before opening, he would sit quietly, picturing clear and bright images of prosperity, not just money, but the flow of abundance through his life and business. Months went by and nothing seemed to change, yet he stuck with this practice for a whole year. Even as sales dropped and his competitors thrived, he didn't waver. Then one morning, he woke up to a surprising news. An overseas merchant had taken on his grandfather's old debt to Edward's late father, a sum now far greater than the value of his shop. Within weeks, what he had visualized began to unfold, just as he had imagined, but through routes he could never have planned. Just like hidden streams flowing underground before bursting forth, your visualization works on subtle levels of reality before bringing things into the physical world. The key is to keep your mental imagery consistent. Align your energy with abundance. It creates a pathway for prosperity to flow into your life, like water flowing over stone. Each time you focus on that image of wealth, you carve out channels in the energetic realm. You strengthen the connection between your thoughts and the endless well of abundance waiting to manifest in your life. This is why having patience and unwavering faith is so important. Even if you can't see the flow right now, your consistent efforts will bring it into your reality. Before we dive into the next chapter, don't forget to grab your free ebook version of this audiobook. Check the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Breath of Prosperity. On the windswept shores of an old harbor, Benjamin gazed at the horizon. Dark clouds loomed, threatening disaster. His whole fortune rode on 3 merchant ships caught in the storm's fury. As he paced the beach, breathing hard, an old sailor approached. His weathered face showcased a calm that came from weathering many storms. "Your breath reflects the chaos of the sea," the sailor said, sharing wisdom from ages past. He sat Benjamin on the sand and showed him a breathing rhythm matching the ocean's natural pulse. As Benjamin followed along, something remarkable happened. A sense of peace filled his mind, and the choppy waters seemed to respond, calming down. When dawn broke, his ship returned safely, precious cargo intact. Throughout history, those who master abundance knew something society has mostly forgotten. Your breath can unlock your financial frequency. Every breath you take sends out a subtle vibration, either inviting wealth or pushing it away. How you breathe unconsciously during money decisions, transactions, or even casual thoughts about finances shapes an energetic field that impacts your material world. In a distant city, Catherine and her brother faced the same investment chance. They both followed the same plan, but her brother thrived while her efforts fell flat. Catherine watched her brother during business meetings and noticed something interesting. When money was brought up, he breathed steadily and deeply. But her breath, it got quick and tight. This realization changed everything for her. By shifting her own breathing while talking about finances, Catherine started to see her financial world change, eventually matching her brother's success. Your breath connects your intentions with what you actually create. It's a powerful tool, known since ancient times, and it's available to you right now. To tap into this wisdom, try the prosperity breath sequence. Sit up straight, observe your natural breathing as you think about money, then start a new rhythm. Inhale for 8 counts, hold it for 4, exhale for 8, and hold again for 4. As you breathe, picture a golden light filling your body with every breath in and spreading throughout you with every breath out. Keep this up for 7 minutes before handling any financial matters. Then there's Nathaniel, standing in an ancient city puzzled by 2 temples. One, old and simple, was overflowing with gold and jewels. The new one, which he helped build, sat empty. Night after night, he measured and pondered, trying to uncover the secret between them. Finally, his master spoke up, saying, "What you're looking for can't be measured like that." He pulled out a golden cord, knotted at specific intervals. Those knots represented sacred proportions that ancient people knew could draw in abundance. As Nathaniel delved deeper into the science of prosperity, he discovered a powerful truth. There are special patterns and sequences that attract wealth in the universe. Just like music relies on specific mathematical relationships to create harmony, wealth also responds to certain shapes and numbers. Those who learned to attract abundance knew which numbers and designs aligned best with prosperity. While some people unknowingly push it away, these patterns show up all around us. You can see them in the spiral of a seashell, the way flower petals are arranged, and even in the paths of stars. By bringing these special proportions into your life and space, you can tap into strong energies that pull in wealth. In a busy market town, Amelia fought hard to keep her little shop alive. Even though she sold the best stuff, business was tough. One evening, a mysterious traveler walked in. He took a good look around and then showed her how to reorganize her displays based on an ancient design. He explained that prosperity moves along certain geometric lines. Amelia was skeptical but desperate, so she decided to follow his advice exactly. The next morning, customers began to pour in, almost as if they were being drawn in by an unseen force. Her sales doubled, then tripled, and they kept climbing as long as she maintained that special arrangement. This isn't just about where you place things either. The universe has its own set of numerical cycles that govern how abundance flows. By learning to connect with these rhythms, you can unlock the natural prosperity that's all around you. There's a way to create a prosperity grid. You start by drawing a sacred geometry pattern using detailed instructions written on parchment with gold ink during the waxing moon. Then, you place symbols of your financial goals at specific points on the grid. To activate it, set the grid where morning sunlight hits it while saying a special abundance invocation for 8 days straight. Now let's jump to a different time. Lawrence was on a quest through rough terrain, chasing after the legendary city of gold. Stories told of its towering buildings and streets of glittering metals, but every time he followed the directions from other travelers, he just ended up in an empty desert. He searched for 7 long years, growing tired and disheartened. One evening, he met a young child drawing in the sand. "The city only shows up when the sun and moon are perfectly in sync," the child said while sketching stars. "And even then, its entrance opens only for those who know where to find it." In these moments, you're learning one of the best-kept secrets of attracting abundance: the art of timing, place, and the right actions. Throughout history, masters have understood this. Wealth is an energy that flows more freely during certain windows of opportunity. There are places that amplify this energy and times when aligned actions make a difference. Think of time, space, and action as 3 keys that work together to unlock the door to prosperity. When these elements come together just right, you can manifest your desires with ease, almost like magic. Many people don't realize this, but this wisdom has been shared through generations by those who understand abundance. Take Isabel's story, for example. She dedicated 3 years to her prosperity ritual, burning special incense and chanting ancient invocations. Yet, despite her commitment, she saw little result. One night, a wise woman appeared to her in a vivid dream. "Your words are right, but your timing and direction are off," she advised. "Next time there's a new moon, face the rising sun in the east and speak your truth." Skeptical but determined, Isabel followed the advice to the letter. In just a few days, the opportunities she had been waiting for rolled in, as if a hidden door had flown open. This happened because the elements aligned perfectly. Just as different times of day carry unique energies and specific locations resonate with certain frequencies, your prosperity rituals can either be enhanced or weakened by these key factors. The ancient temples were thoughtfully built in specific spots. Their ceremonies were timed to sync with universal forces, boosting manifestation. Throughout history, the wisest people recognized these alignments, choosing sacred spaces and precise moments for their rituals. Even now, these timeless principles are out there, waiting for you to notice them and use them alongside the natural rhythms of the universe. When you align your practices with cosmic forces, like the rising sun and moon phases, you tap into energy that's been flowing since forever. In a distant time, Marianne stumbled upon an old manuscript tucked away in her grandmother's house. Its worn pages held prosperity rituals that had been passed down over many generations. With excitement, she followed every instruction. She burned the right incense, arranged her crystals in perfect shapes, and recited the sacred words at the right times. But even after months of hard work, nothing changed. One evening, while she was doing her usual routine, a silver-haired woman showed up at her door. Without saying a word, the stranger watched Marianne. Then she said, "You dance the steps perfectly, but where's the music in your soul?" This simple remark hinted at a deep truth about attracting prosperity. The rituals you perform are just tools, but it's your inner state that gives them power. Throughout history, those who understood abundance knew that ceremony helps connect the visible world with the unseen, allowing real change to happen deep within. Think about how your logical mind often pushes back against new ways to embrace wealth, clinging to what you know, even as you want change. Rituals can cut through that resistance, reaching your soul in a way it understands. When you do these practices with focus and intention, they help align you with the energy of abundance. This truth is illustrated by the story of Theodore, a trader with an empire spanning 3 kingdoms. One night, fire wiped out his warehouses and ships. He scrambled to rebuild with pure willpower, but all he got was exhaustion and setbacks. In his darkest moment, he remembered a simple prosperity ritual from his grandfather. It seemed trivial compared to what he had been doing, but he decided to commit to it every day. As he lit a candle each morning and spoke the old words of abundance, something changed inside him. He found his inner balance again, and suddenly opportunities flowed toward him. It wasn't frantic effort anymore. It was about being aligned energetically. This wisdom is waiting for you with the Alchemist Prosperity Ritual. Every Thursday, create a special altar with some earth, crystals or soil, water in a silver bowl, fire in the form of a green or gold candle, and air from incense. Add symbols for what you want to manifest, then light your candle. By speaking this invocation, I connect myself with the endless flow of abundance. As these forces come together, my awareness syncs with the energy of wealth. Visualize this. Imagine golden light filling your body and radiating outward, touching everything you want to create. Wrap up this process by jotting down your thoughts and intentions in a special journal. This becomes a living record of your journey. Now let's talk about the emotional alchemy of wealth. Long ago, there was an alchemist named Josephine. She dedicated her life to the sacred skill of transformation. Night after night, she worked in her lab, carefully following age-old recipes to turn lead into gold. But despite her precise measurements and perfect techniques, nothing changed. One night, just as frustration built up, her master appeared quietly in the doorway. "You've mastered the outer elements," he said, "but you're missing the most important one, the alchemy of your own heart." This story teaches us a vital truth about prosperity. Your emotions are the key that transforms plain intentions into real results. Just as those ancient alchemists learned their thoughts influence their work, you need to realize that your feelings lay the groundwork for all change. Take Albert, for example, a skilled craftsman who made beautifully perfect pieces but sold none. His art was flawless, yet something vital was missing. An elder in his village noticed this and shared a forgotten piece of wisdom. Pour gratitude into every creation. Treat it like a gift from the divine. At first doubtful, Albert started to practice this emotional process as he worked. He learned to feel deep appreciation for his materials, his skills, and the chance to create. Almost right away, his finished pieces transformed. They gained a quality that buyers could sense, even if they didn't know why. What were once just well-made objects became cherished treasures that people sought after. This ancient wisdom shows us that our emotions form a bridge between thought and reality. Certain emotional vibrations naturally enhance this process. Get in tune with feelings of prosperity, gratitude, worthiness, generosity, joy, abundance, and trust. Let go of fear, scarcity, unworthiness, and resentment. These hold you back and block the natural flow of wealth. To bring this idea into your life, practice daily emotional prosperity transformation. Find a quiet moment and check in on your main emotion about money. If it's negative, let it out fully. Do this in private. Move your body, make some noise, and shake off that energy completely. Then, put your hand on your heart and start the prosperity breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, picturing golden light filling your heart. Hold that breath for 4 counts, letting the light grow brighter. Exhale for 4 counts, feeling that golden energy spreading throughout your body. Hold empty for 4 counts, making space for a fresh, emotional vibe. Now pick one of the prosperity emotions: gratitude, worthiness, generosity, joy, abundance, or trust. Keep this new feeling alive for 3 full minutes as you visualize it filling your entire financial energy field. Let this elevated emotion become your new aspect of dealing with money and resources. Chapter 19. The Dreaming Gates of Prosperity. In an old village, there lived a woman named Charlotte. Her money struggles made her days tough and her nights restless. She tried everything: experts, countless wisdom scrolls, and all sorts of strategies, but abundance still slipped away. Her logical mind had run through every option, yet the answer stayed hidden. One night, utterly exhausted, she surrendered. That's when the universe spoke to her through her dreams. In that dreamy space where logic fades, she received clear guidance. An ancient voice showed her a path she'd never thought of before. It didn't make sense at first, but her soul recognized it immediately. This timeless story reveals how dreams aid in attracting abundance. When your busy mind takes a break, you tap into a sacred place where universal prosperity can communicate with your soul. Ancient wealth masters knew this truth. Dreams are gateways for divine financial wisdom. Think about Howard, who often dreamed of a certain place, brushing it off at first. Nighttime dreams often feel like just fantasies, but the universe kept showing this man the same place over and over. Eventually, everything fell into place, and he found himself there in person. At that exact spot, he stumbled upon a chance for wealth that his logical mind could never have imagined. This opportunity brought him lasting abundance and security. These stories highlight how our dreams are like a guiding system, connecting us to a deeper wisdom while we sleep. When doubts and limitations fade away, we can connect directly with the endless intelligence that shapes all prosperity. Throughout history, those who understood wealth knew that dreams provide direct access to insights about financial success that go beyond the usual understanding. The ancient practice of dream incubation, actively seeking financial guidance while we sleep, remains one of the strongest methods for attracting abundance. Your dreams might already hold the answers you're looking for, guiding you in ways that traditional thinking can't reach, revealing surprising avenues to wealth. By learning to tap into the sacred wisdom of nighttime, you connect with a source of endless potential. Seekers throughout history have relied on it. Often, the answers you seek don't come as clear instructions, but as symbols and metaphors that connect with your deeper self. By setting a clear intention before bedtime and being open to the messages you receive, you welcome in insights that could change your circumstances in ways you never thought possible. Chapter 20. The Divine Right to Abundance. In a timeless land, there lived a man named Michael. He discovered a stunning castle, unlike anything he'd ever seen, with golden gates wide open, welcoming anyone who passed by. Yet Michael lingered outside, pacing nervously in the castle's shadow. Day after day, even though no guards stopped him and nothing blocked his way, he told himself that he must need special permission to step over such a grand threshold. Other travelers walked by him, confidently entering the gates to claim the abundance waiting for them inside. But Michael remained stuck, held back by invisible chains of his own making. Then one morning, a royal messenger approached him, amusement in his eyes. "The king has been watching you," the messenger said, "wondering why you haven't claimed what's rightfully yours. He sent me here to let you know that you're not just allowed in, you've been specifically invited. He's been waiting to share gifts meant for you, ones that are part of your divine right. You might find yourself outside the gates of prosperity, thinking you need special permission to tap into abundance. But here's the truth. Those gates have always been wide open, just waiting for you to see your rightful place. The universal laws of abundance are fair. They don't play favorites and don't require any special status. Just like the sun shines on everyone equally, prosperity naturally flows to those who resonate with its energy. Your birthright as a divine being in a human experience gives you unending access to the universe's riches. For a long time, society has pushed beliefs that suggest only a select few deserve prosperity and that limits are normal while abundance is rare. But those are just illusions, like shadows on a wall. The truth is, abundance is the natural state of a limitless universe, and any limitations exist only in the minds that accept them. Take Eliza's story as an example. She was generous, always helping others, but she rarely accepted proper pay. Her belief in her own unworthiness held her back. Through a series of chance meetings, she started to realize something important. By turning away from receiving abundance, she was actually limiting her ability to give. Each time she denied herself what she deserved, she reinforced a pattern of limitation that impacted not just her, but everyone around her. Now let's talk about wealth consciousness. In a lush valley, there lived a farmer named Philip. He worked hard on his fields year after year, planting the same crops and reaping modest harvests that fed his family. But his gains never seemed to grow. His methods were solid, and he had a strong work ethic, yet abundance felt just out of reach. One autumn morning, as Philip looked over his fields with a familiar sense of resignation, an elder appeared beside him. Without saying who he was, the wise man pointed to Philip's neatly arranged rows and shared a different way to plant. "Follow the natural spiral patterns around us," the elder instructed. "Take what you harvest from this field and use it to plant a growing spiral in the next one. Each season's bounty becomes the seed for even more abundance. It's about circling outwards, not just going in straight lines." Skeptical as he was, Philip took this advice. Over time, his small farm blossomed into the most productive estate in the area. His spiral-planted fields produced harvests beyond what anyone imagined. Here's the insight. There's a deep truth about wealth here. When you first connect with the energy of abundance, you're planting seeds in good soil. But mastery isn't just about staying connected. It's about boosting that connection with sacred acceleration principles. Most people see their finances grow slowly, like Philip's original method of planting similar fields. They stick to the same energy for abundance, year in and year out, getting steady but limited results. But the universe doesn't just go in lines, it spirals, providing paths for explosive growth instead of just linear progress. Take Florence, for example. She was a talented healer, and her income rose steadily for years, until she discovered the game-changing practice of blessing her blessings. Whenever abundance showed up, be it a new client, a surprise gift, or even a found coin, she took a moment to express her gratitude. More importantly, she shared a part of that blessing right away, giving joyfully instead of feeling obligated. This simple yet impactful habit sparked a real change in Florence's financial life. Opportunities poured in like never before, and unexpected windfalls came as if by magic. Her business grew not from more effort or marketing, but through an unseen force that multiplied every blessing she acknowledged and shared. You can experience this same spiral of abundance. By consciously applying these principles of acceleration, you can turn your financial energy from a steady trickle into a powerful rush. This change doesn't come from straining or struggling. It comes from aligning your energy in a way that naturally enhances your ability to attract prosperity. In an ancient city, there was a talented weaver named Abigail. Her textiles were sought after by merchants from faraway places. What made her fabrics special was their vibrant mix of colors and patterns that seemed to come alive. While others created good work through practice, Abigail's pieces held a magical quality, earning her prices 10 times higher than those of her rivals. One morning, an eager apprentice named Rachel came to learn from Abigail. She had traveled for days, hoping to uncover the secret behind Abigail's skill. As Rachel watched, Abigail sat before her loom, her hands hovering above the threads. Minutes turned into hours, and just when Rachel was about to get impatient, Abigail's hands finally moved. She introduced a deep crimson thread into the fabric. "How did you know?" Rachel asked, curious. "How did you choose that exact moment?" Abigail smiled, her fingers dancing with the threads. "There's a golden thread," she explained, "one that's invisible to most. It weaves through time and shows me the perfect moment to act. See how this crimson catches the morning light? If I had added it too soon or too late, it wouldn't have had this glow. The secret isn't just in weaving, but in seeing this thread of divine timing." She continued, "Just like my creations, your life has a golden thread of perfect timing woven through it. The universe has its rhythms, and when you learn to understand them, struggle turns into flow. Wealth isn't just about taking the right actions, it's also about taking them at the right times. The ancients knew that prosperity isn't just about effort, it's about recognizing the universe's patterns, which often show up as lucky coincidences to those who pay attention. This wisdom has been handed down through generations of those who've mastered abundance. They learned to catch the subtle signals of good timing. When you push financial actions against the natural flow, you create resistance, leading to setbacks. But when you tune into divine timing, opportunities appear effortlessly. The universe already has a perfect blueprint for your success. Your job is to align with its rhythm rather than fight against it. In a far-off land, where wisdom meant more than treasure, there lived a young man named Oliver. He was eager to uncover the deeper truths of life. So he set out on a journey to 2 famous temples known for their life-changing spiritual lessons. The first temple towered impressively against the morning sky. Its walls sparkled with jewels, and intricate carvings adorned its surface. Golden statues greeted visitors at the entrance, and elaborate tapestries hung all around. However, as Oliver stepped inside, his heart sank. Even though it looked magnificent, the place felt empty, lacking the sacred energy he hoped to find. Disappointed but determined, Oliver moved on to the second temple. This one was a humble building made of plain stone and worn wood. At first glance, it seemed unremarkable, but once he entered, Oliver couldn't hold back a gasp. Although it didn't boast material wealth, the air buzzed with a divine energy. Every inch hummed with a peaceful vibe that he could feel deep within. The difference between these 2 temples holds a powerful truth that those who understand abundance have known for ages. Our physical surroundings can both reflect and shape the unseen energies that affect our lives. Oliver learned that true spiritual strength doesn't come from fancy decorations. Your environment plays a huge role in either boosting or holding back your connection to the energy of wealth. Throughout history, people who mastered prosperity carefully designed their spaces to align perfectly with abundance. They realized that everything, objects, colors, and arrangements, interacts with your energy, either lifting your spirit or dragging it down. These wise souls knew that creating sacred spaces isn't about superficial aesthetics. It's about paying attention to the unseen forces that influence manifestation. They developed smart ways to arrange their environments to attract and enhance wealth's energy. You'll find out how specific elements, when placed just right, can lay strong foundations for abundance. You'll learn why certain colors resonate with prosperity while others might quietly hold you back. Most importantly, you will master the skills to cultivate a space that empowers your journey towards wealth. Transforming your spaces into havens that enhance your connection to universal wealth is a powerful journey. In Chapter 24, titled The Invisible Council of Prosperity, we find Esther in a serene meditation hall nestled among misty mountains. For months, she struggled to make sense of an old manuscript filled with complex symbols about prosperity. But understanding always seemed to slip away, no matter how hard she tried. Every night, she studied the text until her eyes felt heavy, sensing that deeper truths were just within reach. Then one evening, as the golden sunlight faded into twilight, Esther closed her eyes and let go of her relentless search for answers. In that moment of surrender, her awareness shifted beyond the physical world. She found herself in a radiant chamber of light, surrounded by luminous beings gathered in a circle. Their presence overflowed with timeless wisdom. One being, shimmering with a golden glow, addressed her. "We have seen your dedication, but you seek knowledge while only grasping part of the truth." Puzzled, Esther asked, "What am I missing?" Another being replied, "The power of prosperity flows not to those who desire it for selfish reasons, but to those willing to use it for the greater good of humanity." As Esther opened her heart to this deeper insight, one of the beings moved closer, promising to guide her journey, not just toward wealth, but toward wealth for the highest good. This ancient story reveals a truth that those who master prosperity have known throughout time. Invisible guides and guardians of abundance are here to help those who view wealth as a way to expand consciousness, not just to gather possessions. These beings embody the wisdom of everyone who has traveled the path of meaningful prosperity before you. Their guidance comes in subtle nudges, serendipitous meetings, and sudden moments of clarity, but they wait for a crucial mindset shift before offering their full support. This shift happens when you realize that true wealth serves a purpose much greater than personal comfort or social status. When you align the practices of prosperity with a higher purpose, they gain newfound strength. What once seemed like simple techniques transforms into sacred means of channeling abundance for the evolution of consciousness. The invisible council responds not to desperate pleas or clever strategies, but to those who approach wealth with the intent to make a difference. Instead of manipulation, focus on a genuine commitment to help everyone thrive as you prosper. When you shift your perspective, those age-old methods passed down over time turn into powerful tools for creation. The universe supports those who see wealth as a way to grow awareness and uplift others. When your heart aligns with this noble goal, unseen doors open up, leading you to opportunities that benefit both your journey and the greater good. Now, let's move to Chapter 25, Beyond the Illusion of Time. In the busy markets of an ancient city, Nathaniel walked nervously between stalls, his mind racing with worries about money. Each coin he earned only brought stress about earning the next one, leaving him always on edge, even as his fortune grew. He was known for his smart trading, but peace? It remained elusive. One evening, while counting his earnings, a strange figure appeared at his door, an alchemist. His eyes seemed to hold the weight of centuries. Without a word, the alchemist set 3 crystal vessels on Nathaniel's counting table. The first held dark soil, the second clear water, and the third glowed with pure light. "The past," the alchemist said, pointing to the soil. "The present," he indicated the water. "The future," he gestured to the light. Then, with a smooth motion, he poured all 3 into one bowl. Instead of muddying up, the liquids swirled together into a golden stream that felt timeless. "Your prosperity isn't found in a single moment," the alchemist explained, but in this eternal now where all times blend. Here, true creation happens. This timeless story reveals a deep truth about financial manifestation. It doesn't follow the linear timeline we often think about, but lives in the present moment where anything is possible. When you fixate on what lies ahead or dwell on past mistakes, you disconnect from your true power to manifest, which is found only in the now. The greatest minds of prosperity throughout history grasped this secret. They knew that waiting for abundance in some distant future only keeps it at arm's length from you. The truth about mastering your finances? It starts with being present. Your mind might fight this idea, thinking that planning means looking to the future. But here's the catch. There's a big difference between preparing practically and putting off your success to some later date. You can prepare while staying in the moment, but if you keep waiting for the right time, you create a pattern that blocks what you want to manifest. William stood in front of the grand gates of the Prosperity Academy, clutching his credentials tightly. For years, he dreamed of coming here, where wealth experts shared their secrets. Despite his impressive background, the gates stayed shut. Day after day, he came back, sharing his achievements, showing off his knowledge, performing rituals to prove his dedication, yet he still found himself stuck outside. One morning, as William prepared for another attempt, an elderly teacher approached him. The contrast between the teacher's simple robes and the academy's fancy gates was striking. Yet there was something about the teacher that drew him in. "You're trying to get in by showing what you can do," the teacher remarked, "but these gates open for who you've become." The teacher led William to a nearby reflecting pool. "Look closely," he said. "Do you see yourself as someone who needs to prove they belong, or as someone who naturally fits in?" In that moment, everything clicked for William. His constant striving revealed he viewed himself as someone chasing prosperity rather than embodying it. The gates had never been locked. His self-image had kept him out. With the teacher's guidance, William started his journey of inner change. Instead of trying to achieve more, he focused on changing how he saw himself. Gradually, he transformed from a seeker into someone who embodied a mindset of abundance. The next time he approached the academy, he was different. He carried no credentials. He had grown from within, not by external achievements, but through his inner work. As he walked up to the entrance, the gate swung open without a sound. He stepped inside, not as someone hoping to get in, but as someone finally coming home. This story has been shared for generations among seekers and wise ones. This story reveals a deep truth about prosperity, a truth that's guided countless people toward abundance throughout history. It shines like a guiding light, cutting through confusion to show us the enduring principles behind universal wealth. In Chapter 27, we explore the magic of generosity. Picture an ancient forest, where wisdom whispers between the old trees. In this forest lived Margaret, the guardian of a mystical spring. Those who visited discovered something unusual. When Margaret shared the clear waters freely, they flowed with endless abundance. But if someone tried to hoard the water for themselves, the spring would mysteriously shrink, sometimes vanishing completely. Through this ancient wisdom, we uncover a powerful truth that has inspired masters of prosperity for ages. True wealth naturally flows to those around you. This principle isn't about working hard or feeling obligated. It's simply the natural result of understanding that abundance is limitless. When you connect with the idea of prosperity, generosity comes not from a sense of duty, but from a deep well of endless supply. Just like Margaret's magical waters, your own abundance grows when you share it freely, creating a positive energy that lifts everyone around you while also speeding up your own dreams. Now consider Benjamin. Despite his vast wealth, he felt no joy, even when he gave to charity. Each donation felt like a loss, a sacrifice. Everything changed one day when he walked through a poor part of the city. There he met a little girl who shared her only piece of bread with a stray dog. The joy on her face in that simple act of giving woke Benjamin up to the truth. True generosity comes from the natural overflow of a generous heart. When he embraced this wisdom, his giving shifted from feeling like a burden to being a joyful celebration. Mysteriously, as he began to give freely, prosperity flowed back into his life in unexpected ways. You might find that your own approach to giving feels like a sacrifice or duty instead of a joyful outpouring. But as you open yourself to the essence of true prosperity, everything can change. When you expand your awareness, generosity shifts from something you force yourself to do into a natural part of who you are. You start to align with a mindset of abundance. By setting up a generosity routine, you embark on a journey into this deep truth. Create a special fund for prosperity, starting with a little bit more than what feels comfortable but still doable. Each morning, take time to meditate with the clear goal of being open to chances for giving anonymously or unexpectedly. Trust your gut feelings, even if they seem out of the ordinary. Jot down each experience in a prosperity journal, paying close attention to how these acts of kindness change your mindset and noting the surprising ways abundance finds its way back to you. In a lively marketplace, James hurried between stalls, always on the lookout for shining coins. Each coin he picked up gave him a quick thrill, but soon enough he found himself wanting more. Day after day, year after year, his obsession with money took over his life, until he had a life-changing encounter. A wise sage, noticing James' frantic energy, invited him to a secret garden. As they walked through old gates, James couldn't believe his eyes. The trees were like nothing he had ever seen before. Their fruits sparkled like gold, and their flowers radiated pure joy. The leaves were vibrant with health, and the roots pulsed with a sense of purpose. Wealth flows through many channels, beyond just cash. This truth has been known by wise teachers for ages. Abundance takes countless forms. It shows up in perfect opportunities, in the connections that open new doors, in health and well-being, and in the joy that comes from living a purpose-driven life. When you confine your understanding of wealth to just money, you limit your potential. This actually restricts even your financial gains. The ancients knew that true wealth includes all aspects of life, not just numbers you can tally, but experiences that can be felt, shared, and celebrated. Think about Sophia. She worked tirelessly toward her financial goals, and eventually she reached them. But there she was, standing in her beautiful home, surrounded by everything she'd achieved, and yet she felt an unexplainable emptiness echoing inside her. That night, a dream took her on a journey through her life. She saw moments filled with laughter, the joy of sunrises that lit up the sky, the satisfaction of work that made a difference, and the miracle of health coursing through her. When Sophia woke up, it hit her. She had been walking past treasures every day without even noticing. As she began to see the abundance already present in her life, everything changed. Her gratitude for these different forms of wealth sparked a new energy within her, attracting even more prosperity in all areas of her life. Just like Sophia, you'll find that your own awareness of abundance grows when you recognize all the blessings that are already yours. This awareness creates a powerful energy that boosts not just your financial success, but enriches your whole life experience. By creating a wealth inventory, you embark on a journey that opens your eyes to countless blessings flowing around you. This ancient practice, passed down through generations, shows you the riches in your life, not just in material things, but in every aspect. As you write down these treasures, both seen and unseen, you awaken strong energies of abundance that have been lying dormant within you. In a grand old estate, Alexander paced nervously, feeling the heavy weight of his newly inherited fortune. Surrounded by luxury, he felt no joy, only a heavy burden, as if this wealth had become golden chains trapping him. One evening, while reviewing his finances, an elder appeared in the room, his eyes filled with ancient wisdom. "You seem troubled by your fortune," the elder said, his voice carrying deep truths. "Maybe it's because you don't understand its true essence. Beyond the material world, know this. Wealth isn't just about ownership. It's a cosmic energy you are entrusted to manage. When you let go of the need to own, you align with the real purpose of prosperity, uplifting all beings. Throughout history, those who truly understand the frequency of abundance have grasped a key idea. The universe naturally brings more resources to those who see themselves not as owners, but as caretakers of divine energy. This shift in perspective transforms how you interact with wealth, from feeling anxious about it to guiding it with intention. In a quiet, distant valley, Harriet tried hard to create her fortune. She followed every rule of manifestation, but it always felt out of reach. One morning, during deep meditation, she had a breakthrough that changed everything. She realized her focus on accumulating wealth had put up walls against the natural flow of prosperity. The truth hit her. Wealth flows easiest when it's guided toward purposes that uplift everyone. With this realization, she began to understand her financial resources weren't really hers. They were cosmic energy passing through her, aiming for the highest good. This awareness doesn't take away your abundance. In fact, it enhances it by aligning you with the universe's way of entrusting more resources to those who show conscious stewardship. In this moment of clarity, you're ready to adopt a sacred practice that will deepen your bond with universal abundance. By applying these timeless principles, you'll become a clear channel for prosperity, letting divine energy flow through you with increasing strength and purpose. Now let's dive into an exercise that aligns you with the cosmic laws of giving and receiving, transforming your relationship with wealth at its core. Let's explore an ancient practice that has helped countless seekers find their way to conscious prosperity. Through this purposeful ritual, you'll start to view wealth not as something to grab hold of, but as a force to guide with wisdom and grace. In a hidden valley where ancient wisdom echoes through the stones, Victoria found a strange artifact, a weathered tablet filled with mysterious symbols. At first, the markings just looked like random scratches on stone. But as she visited day after day, something remarkable began to happen. The inscriptions appeared to shift and change, revealing different messages based on her mindset. In moments of fear or scarcity, the stone showed some warnings, but when she approached with an open heart and clear awareness, new teachings unfolded. Profound truths about the everlasting nature of abundance emerged. This sacred revelation introduces you to the deepest mystery of prosperity. Wealth isn't just about what you have, it's an eternal state of being available to anyone who recognizes their divine nature. This truth goes beyond the temporary nature of material riches and reveals a mindset of abundance that flows through generations. As you work toward mastering the money frequency, you've learned many principles and practices. Now you find yourself at the edge of the highest teaching. True prosperity isn't something you chase after. It's who you naturally are when you align with your eternal essence. In a faraway land, Jonathan had mastered every aspect of building wealth. His investments were thriving, his businesses were booming, yet something felt off. After spending time in deep thought, he realized that focusing solely on accumulating wealth addressed only the surface of true prosperity's power. One moonlit night, while meditating, Jonathan experienced a sudden awakening to his timeless nature. In that moment of heightened awareness, he understood that true wealth surpasses individual lifetimes. He realized that a fully embodied prosperity mindset flows through time, transforming everyone it touches. This truth is revealing itself to you right now. Your journey with wealth ultimately leads you beyond just doing and having. By aligning with your eternal nature, you become a living embodiment of prosperity consciousness, creating a legacy that enriches not just your family, but everyone their lives connect with. With this deeper understanding, you rise above the temporary nature of material wealth, becoming a shining example of abundance. Like a stone thrown into calm waters, your expanded awareness sends ripples of prosperity that reach far beyond your immediate surroundings, touching countless lives through time. In this way, true wealth isn't just about what you own, it's about what you radiate. It's an everlasting force of creativity that flows through you into the infinite fabric of existence. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I've created a free ebook version for you. You can grab it through the link in the pinned comment. As you wrap up this sacred journey into the ancient wisdom of financial frequency, realize that you're stepping into a new kind of relationship with abundance. You've learned secrets that most people will never uncover. It's not that this wisdom is hidden on purpose. It's just that few are ready to embrace the inner shift needed to live in prosperity consciousness. What you've got now isn't just information. It's a living energy passed down through generations of masters who understood wealth's true essence. Keep in mind, this ending is just a new beginning. You're taking your first steps into a life where abundance flows not from outside manipulation, but from tapping into the universe's innate richness. The energy of money now recognizes your unique vibrational signature. It responds to your consciousness, not just your actions. As you move forward, keep up with your daily practices and expand your awareness of how this prosperity mindset shows up in all parts of your life. Your journey isn't just about accumulating wealth. It's about becoming a living embodiment of abundance, a beacon that lifts the prosperity of everyone around you. Share this wisdom not as something to cling to, but as a light to spread. Remember, true wealth grows when shared with awareness and kindness. The universe has given you this ancient knowledge. Let it flow through you like your breath. You're not just practicing prosperity principles anymore. You are prosperity in human form. If you liked this exclusive audiobook, I've picked out another one for you that could change your life.